Hello, guys. Sarbonane Linjani, how are you? Awsheng. Welcome to the third episode of Let's Talk It Raw. I'm Stanford Suziva, aka Chris Sips Images. Yes, I am. So I am with the only one, the one you know, as always, as Mo.
Good day, family. We welcome you once again to another special episode. And today, trust me, this episode is very special. Do you know why it is so special? Because we are having our very first female guest today. And this woman, right, she's very special
Yeah,
because she is doing wonderful things in the society.
yeah.
And today she's going to take us through how she is doing it. And you're going to love it. We welcome you.
Yes, I am.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Precious, popularly known as
Madhumbe
Madhumbe
Wabantu.
Wabantu.
Yes, I am. All right, sister. We welcome you again.
Thank
And
you.
we are very honored to have you.
Thank you for having me.
I just want us to for you to just tell us a little bit. Usixelele man, kakusixelele man. Enye into usisi uyakhuluma ngumndebele. Yeah. So actually, this podcast is not only for Shona speaking, for English speaking. We take everyone. So we just want you to take us into the journey of what is Madhumbe.
All right.
Yeah.
Madhumbe is a mother, a sister, a female who believes in empowerment, a female who believes in equality, a female who believes in queens fixing other queens' crowns. That is Madhumbe Wabantu. The name Madhumbe for the people, Umadumbe from the Shona, Wabantu from the Ndebele, and both for the Shona and the Ndebeles.
Wow.
Thank you very much for that, Madhumbe. So I want us to talk about. So when you were introducing yourself, right, you were talking about empowerment, fixing other women's crowns. You understand, and that is very powerful, and I'm loving it because I am also a woman, and sometimes I just want someone to fix that crown, so that we
Yeah.
go through it all right. So what I want our viewers to know is what made you start this empowerment. Like, what is your story? What is the story behind? Is there something that you went through, and how did it start?
Yeah. So, like for instance, she can tell us what was the motive behind the empowerment of Madhumbe Wabantu.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was broken.
Okay.
Yes.
Like being.
I was broken emotionally,
Oh, shit.
psychologically, physically, any type of way you can think of.
Oh, shit.
So I got through divorce,
Oh,
and
shit.
I was
So
very
about that.
suicidal.
Oh, shit.
And the sad part is that our community, our Zim community, tends to be judgmental,
Oh, that's
more
very true.
especially when it comes to women who are being abused. And abuse comes in different forms. It's not only physical.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
also financial, it's also psychological, it's also emotional as well. So there was a lot of aspects that came into play that made me to be the person that I am today.
Yeah, because abantu abaningi, the only thing that abuse is where we see the bruises, we think that this person is being abused, not knowing that there's some people who go through emotional abuse. You can take us through, my sister.
Well, for me,
Yeah.
the biggest abuse that I went through was the religious psychosis.
What is that?
Yes.
The English too deep. The English too
Okay.
deep.
I just got religious, but
Yeah.
let's go to the psychosis.
So
Yeah.
there are certain abusers who are religious psychologists, because what happens is this: they got their own mentality, and they quote certain sections of the Bible that they use to manipulate people. You understand? That they use. They'll be like, I don't want my woman to do this and that and that. Only setting rules that are beneficial and convenient for them. They use the Bible only when it's convenient for them and beneficial for them.
I've seen a lot of people, and it's quite a disadvantage to most women, because you might be married to a SDA member, whereas you are coming from a Zayoja, then you'll be forced to do some other things. But they say once you get married, you need to be partakers of everything that is there. So you take us through maybe a simple way. Maybe.
So what happens is this.
Yeah.
There are, in my situation,
Yeah.
my ex-husband was a person with a social standard, a social status.
Oh.
Someone anoremeketwa.
Oh.
So whenever I would have
Bishop.
problems, yes,
Oh.
So
not
which
bishop as
church,
such, but
which church were you going to anyways?
mazita
Oh, Mazita.
ngatisataura
No,
mazita
Isataura
Okay,
Mazita.
okay, no
tisataura
problem.
mazita.
Okay, no problem. It's
So
All right.
fine.
now what happens is I was going through that abuse
Yeah.
because now as amai vanoremekedzwa amai muvhangeri, I would welcome people into my home, people with the same problems that I was going through. But when I cry out, nobody's really there for me because they are thinking if you are married to someone of that social status, you don't face these problems, not knowing that we are not immune to those kind of problems.
Actually, there
as
is
well.
no person who is not immune to those kind of things. We
You
need to know
understand?
that.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the first part. And then the second part was the financial abuse. Financial abuse occurs when somebody restricts you to have your own finances, or maybe they micromanage your finances to an extent that you do not have a say over the money that you work for.
You work for, not
You work
not
for.
that the
Yes, the
husband.
money that you work for. They'll be like, you understand? That kind of mentality.
Actually,
Yeah, I
I think
get
that
that.
one it will be the topic on its own. That who owns the money that we have. So okay. Look, I think for the meantime we can allow you to take us through. I think we still have to have that kind of also communication.
Yeah.
That topic actually.
So
Yeah.
that was the first part, the religious psychosis,
Yeah.
the financial, and
Wow.
then now the physical. Because there's a time whereby each and every person gets to a point whereby you get pushed to the edge and then you react. So when you are married to a narcissist, right,
That way,
they create a situation,
Yeah.
and then when you react, they blame
That's
you
the problem.
to the reaction for the reaction that you have done. And meanwhile you are starved, meanwhile you can't express, and you can't even tell the community that this is what I'm going through because there is this status that you have to maintain. So I was also scared to leave my marriage because I was scared that the society is going to judge me.
and
That is very powerful because you know our today's topic, right?
Yes.
It is talking about like why or what makes women stay in
Yes.
toxic and abusive relationships.
Yes.
Yeah, understand. So maybe now you have to take us to the part where you explaining to us why, what makes you stay. Like for how long were you in this marriage?
I was in there for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And there was a time whereby my marriage was already dead, but I kept up appearances. So many
for the
women,
sake of the community.
yes, for the sake of the community and
for
also
the
for
sake
the
of the
sake of the
church.
children and the
And
church.
and
And
the
I was
church.
like, I can't raise my children as a single mother. But there is an incident that transpired that was a wake-up call. So it happened that there was a physical fight, and then my children, the eldest one, took her siblings and they went into the other room and they covered themselves with a blanket, screaming. So for me, I realized, in as much as I want to be with a husband by my side, but this is breaking my children. Because one thing that you need to understand, children's brains are like sponge. You know, a sponge. Everything that they're going through, they suck it in. So when they're growing up, it creates trauma in them.
That's very
So when they don't really treat that trauma, they will project it onto their partners in the future.
That's very bad.
Which is the reason why, if you look today, the children who bully other kids at school, they are coming from abusive families. They don't see anything wrong with that because for them it's normal.
Yes,
It's part
it's
of
happening.
And sometimes I think I once shared this with other guy, that sometimes in as much as there is a bully in the school, we need to look the problem. We might maybe try to fix the victim, but not knowing that the bully himself also is a victim of the previous things that he faced.
Exactly.
It's a very
So
strong point.
it becomes a cycle. So
Yeah.
if you don't break it, you are going to pass it to your children,
Yeah.
not away, not deliberately, but because that's how you're raising children in that situation. So that kind of background
Yes.
is really not conducive for a healthy adult, because this child sooner or later will be an adult, and they are going to project these traumas onto their partner and probably to their children. So the cycle goes on from generation to generation. You understand?
Okay, thank you, family. Yes, today's episode is sponsored by Crispy's Images. So they take the images, the videos for all the events, lobolas, weddings, graduations, Or if you just want like just to take the pose for that one photo with your beautiful outfit, you must look up for them, the number on the screen.
Welcome back, guys. As you are sithetha nosisi uMadhumbe wabantu esixelela achitiudza zvinhu zvakasangana nazvo because vazhinji tinofunga sokuti abuse ndedhudhu mumbaka, but not knowing that we learned today that there is a financial abuse. Hanzi murume anenge achiti ndini baba panapa mari cheche ndeyangu mumba. Hanzi izvozvo guys, we have to talk about that. Guys, comment on the section tione kuti ndezvipi guys the best way yatingaita kugadzisa mhuri dzedu, because we don't want this financial abuse to keep on carrying on. And another thing, matichi pane word ramataura riyeri, that word is what is sarcasm,
religious psychosis.
Oh, religious psychosis. All right, so we heard about those things. So let's allow Sister Madhumbe to keep on sharing with us her experience, or how did she come to build this brand that helps a lot of women. We can take it to you, man.
Right. So
Yeah.
because of my experience,
Yeah.
because there's also another abuse that I went through, which is emotional abuse. Right. Emotional abuse is when somebody abuses your feelings deliberately. They do that by either deflecting or not validating your feelings. What do I mean by that? Let's say I come to you and I tell you what you've done has hurt my feelings. Instead of you taking accountability and looking into yourself, you will flip the script and start to blame me, and then I end up apologizing to you. You understand? So that is deflecting. And then sometimes people, they don't validate your feelings. They don't even care about how you feel or what their actions. Because I believe in a healthy, I'm not saying perfect, in a healthy relationship, there is no one who's perfect.
Yeah.
You need to understand each other's feelings. You need to validate each other's feelings.
Yeah.
You need to take accountability. So the
your
minute
actions,
you're not taking accountability for your own actions, deflecting and gaslighting a person into a reaction, all of those, it contributes to emotional abuse. So for one to avoid being in a situation like that, you need to have emotional intelligence. So how do you get to do that?
Yeah.
When you are dating, instead of asking each other what is your love language, what is your favorite color, you must ask a person, what is your conflict resolution?
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
What
I think more she's learning. She's learning. She's learning. What she's
I am
saying.
learning. I'm
Yeah.
actually learning.
Okay.
But also, like, I would like also to know, like,
Yeah.
so you have went through all this, right?
Yeah.
And you said religious psychosis. There is financial
Yeah.
abuse, emotional abuse. Then there was physical abuse.
Yes,
Yeah.
there
So
was
what
physical.
I want to know, like, you were in this marriage for a long time, right?
Yes.
So what did you do, like, when you were getting this, like, what were your actions? Were you thinking like maybe it was fine, it is just marriage? Did you try to get some help somewhere, or how did you try to resolve
Or
it? So
in
that
others,
you
how did you win? How did you come out of it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, the first step to winning is
Yeah.
acknowledging that there is a problem.
Yes.
Okay.
Because
That's
there
the
are people
first-
who doesn't acknowledge
Yes.
that I'm in this mess.
The
They
first
think
step
that,
is to acknowledge.
Wow,
So
I
when
love
you acknowledge and then you look at the causative agent,
Mm.
what do I mean by that? This person abusing me, are they aware that they are abusing me? Because they
Okay.
might be projecting their trauma to me. They are, you understand?
So in short, someone can abuse you
Not
without
knowing.
knowing that they are
We are learning.
Exactly.
We are learning.
You understand?
Okay.
So acknowledge and then look at the causative agent.
Wow.
And then now you need to find people in a neutral, and I will emphasize on that, in a neutral position, because in my situation, I involved family members, right? I involved the church people, and to a certain extent, I feel like somehow, when you involve parties either from the woman or from the male, some of them, they will be biased.
Yes, they
Yeah,
take sides.
definitely.
Yes,
Definitely.
because I've seen many homes being destroyed by in-laws. You understand? So get someone from a neutral position.
Like a pastor.
Sometimes pastors can be biased too.
Okay.
Yes,
So
that's
in your
a very
situation, they were biased.
some of them,
Some of
not
them.
of them.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And that is a very unpopular opinion, but some pastors, they are very, very biased, especially if the man is got kaching.
Oh, you be paying tithes.
You
You be paying
understand?
tithes.
So be like, that one is our placer, because churches have got placers as well.
Okay, so the man can be the blesser to the church.
Exactly. So when you go,
Relating.
they'll be like, ingamunhu bo, ingani indoda elungile le.
Ngenxa
Bo.
bafuna
Yes,
imali.
they will be blindsided to the things. So then the next step now, when you involve people from a neutral position, they will give you their honest, true advice. And then there is ways that you need to deal with that. First of all, therapy. I always hear people saying that going to therapy
No.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that it actually helps you, because I also noticed that in as much as I was going through abuse, but there is a certain thing that I was also doing that was contributing to that.
You were also
Yes.
That's
That's
Yeah.
very power
You
for
understand?
someone to acknowledge. We've got many people, especially women. I'm sorry to say this. Some women, they don't acknowledge that I'm in this mess because I also
There's
contributed.
a part.
But then it's not only women,
No,
right?
all
Even
right.
men also. You
Yeah.
understand? Like you could find like right
Yeah.
now in
Yeah.
this day, like there is a divorce, right?
Yeah.
If you ask what happened, they'll just tell you the bad side of the other party, and then not their party. And then this is not only on the women's side.
Exactly.
I love the way she's
Most-
saying that she's acknowledging, and I think that's where the healing also starts.
That's where it also starts,
Acknowledging.
because you get to work on yourself. You get to make those weaknesses your strong points. You
Wow.
convert them. In my situation, hainini sorry yanga isingabude. Ndochokwadi.
Oh, so you were that kind of person.
Sorry yanga isingabude vele ubani
And
mina.
then I was even
Ngeke.
thinking when you were
now
explaining.
Ranga risingadyiwe.
uyipoza now.
Ndaitoti ndikaona kuti ndakanganisa ndopopota zvekuti baba vanonobika varivo.
But uchitoziva kuti ndiwakanganisa.
Ndichitoziva. So to a certain extent, the therapist told me like,
Oh,
no,
Lord.
this is a trait that you need to lose. If you want to be a better you, this is something that you need to drop. You understand?
Yeah.
So in as much as you want to come out of that, you need to work on yourself. You need to do introspection and see where you're lacking, and see where you are supposed to improve and where you are supposed to level up.
Okay, so in this therapist, did you go with your ex-husband?
No, I went alone because
You refused?
he was not believing into those things. Yes.
He's one of
Yeah,
those
he was.
white
He
people
wasn't.
thing.
And the journey was for me because I felt like I was living in his shadow.
We are back again. Madhumbe wabantu, she's still explaining to us how she's kuti vakawina sei mukati mehondo iyi yavatarisana nayo emotional abuse, financial abuse, with a lot of things. So let's hear what our sister will say.
So as I was saying,
Yeah.
Uguti, it begins by acknowledging
Yes.
that there is a problem.
Yes.
It involves you looking for advice or therapy from people from a neutral position.
Yeah.
And then also looking into yourself to see where and how would you have contributed to that situation, and working on that.
Yeah.
Right. So like I said, there was a time when I was suicidal, because what made me to be suicidal is the judgment that I was facing from the community, because our community is very judgmental when it comes to single mothers. So whenever you're having a problem, you'll be like, oh, vanhu vachazoti kudii. You see,
So were you getting the judgmental, or you were afraid to be judged?
already some people, they were judgmental, but vachizevezera. And that happens, and you can feel that.
Yeah, definitely.
And munoziva chinhu chikataurwa nevanhu tu ochiudza wechitiri chero vachizevezera zvinozosvika. So at the end of the day, I then realized that no, my children are still young, and it's going to be a burden to my mom. So then what I then decided that no, this is not what I want. I don't want to raise my children in a broken home. I'd rather raise them single-handedly as a single mother, but I make sure that I make them know their power, their value, because I've got girls. I make sure that they are powerful, to know their value, to know when to walk away, when it's toxic, when it's no longer healthy.
And most people vanoramba vakabatirira zvichirwadza zvichirema. Like recently I've heard of a story of which we don't want to speak mostly of the hearsays, but there are people who are going through difficult times right now, but maybe because of what you are sharing, maybe someone might hear the story and heal. So what can you tell some other people who are in this kind of a toxic relationship right now, abuse relationship, and whatever that you went through? What can you tell them so that they can learn from them?
What I can say is that if you see that something
Yeah.
is not changing,
Yeah.
it probably will never change.
Okay.
Okay.
No one has the ability to change a person unless they desire to change.
Okay.
So hope is a very dangerous thing in situations of abuse. That is something that I always tell people. Unenge wakagara mumarriage uhleli emendweni usithi ubaba uzachinja uhlalele ethembeni, and that statement yekuti shingirira ndo zvinoita dzimba, it has sent a lot of people to their early graves. You understand? So I always tell people, no, if it's too toxic, if there is no chance of change, live and find yourself. Don't rush to get into another marriage. Maybe a relationship, maybe yes, you can, but don't rush into getting into another marriage before you properly heal, because you are going to bleed on this person. You are going to project all that trauma to this new person, which is why it's imperative that you go through this healing process. And also that healing process, it's not something that you have to fast forward. You take each day as it comes. And you need to find things that you will occupy your mind so that you stop thinking about those things. So in my situation, that's when the page Madhumbe Wabantu came into play.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So at that particular moment, I had lost my job as a waiter and a chef in restaurants. I had to start from scratch. That's when I started working as a maid. So during my break time, I'll find myself starting to scroll through the pictures of me and my ex-husband when we were happy, and they need to put me back into that energy, into that. So that's when I say, no, let me do something that is going to occupy my mind. But this thing that I want to do, I want it to have a purpose.
Okay.
Yes. So I wanted to do a hobby that's going to keep my mind, but at the same time, give me a purpose. That's when my page came into play. And as I'm speaking right now, I'm just the face
Okay.
of the page.
Yes.
But I don't work alone. I've got nurses, I've got psychologists, I've got accountants, I've got lawyers. As we speak, there are certain cases that we've been dealing with.
So in other words,
Yes.
are you now starting also to help people who are in need?
Yes, we do. But what we do, there are some sensitive issues that we can't
share.
share, like situations whereby a minor is being raped by a stepfather.
Okay.
That's how deep it's really gone.
Okay.
And like as I'm speaking right now, something that I will share with your production team afterwards. There is a woman who's being abused here in Cape Town. She's reached out to me, and when she did that, the husband smashed her phone. She's being beaten. She's going through exactly the same thing that I went through. So now me and my team, we're trying to track that woman. So my page, I don't do these things in front of the camera, because one thing that I understood, and I need a lot of people to understand, when you're doing something for someone, especially a sensitive personal journey like this, there's a high possibility that if you take a camera and record that thing, 10, 15 years, their children are going to see that.
Of course, and
So,
to affect.
yes, you have to protect their identity.
That's true.
I think that's what separates you from everyone, because some people, like right now, if you look at it, people are making content through other people's business.
Yeah, that's true.
You
That's very
understand?
true.
So I think doing that, because like when we got that you coming, I was going through your things and I was trying to look for. And I was like, I'm not finding anything that is talking about like what she is doing here, what is going on. But now that you're explaining, like I'm loving it. And I think like if a lot of people like can help in the background, because what we're looking for is the solution, not for the world to see what am I doing, you understand? And then for that, I think that is very powerful. And
to be honest with you, I think maybe if I hadn't gone through that, maybe I was also gonna be saying, hi, I'm giving Sister Tari pets because her husband didn't. But probably I would have done that. But because I was in that situation,
you were in that situation.
I now understand how sensitive it is when now your house is not in order and things are spiraling out of control. You are trying to maintain your dignity, you are trying to maintain your image. At the same time, you are being hurt. At the same time, you want this person to change. This is the person you love. The most painful things ever to happen to a person is to be abused by someone you love.
Yes.
All right, guys. You've heard Sis Madhumbe. Actually, there are a lot of things that she wants to share with us, but because of time, I think if you want Sis Madhumbe with Apindeze, so just write on comment section. So we'll respond to the comment section. If you wanted to come back, and finish everything. And actually, we're also gonna put their number on the screen so that you can, if you are able, if people want to contact you, they can able to contact you.
Yes, there's a number
Yeah.
for the page. Yes,
Yes,
specifically
yes.
for those kind of things.
Specifically
Yes.
for those. So we'll share the number for those who might need to hear more about it. But I think we need to bring you back again.
Yes,
We definitely need to
Anything
bring you
for
back.
women
Yeah.
and men too, because also men get abused. Yes.
Actually, I was about to say that.
Yes, because
I was
right now
about to
we're
say
busy
that.
You
with.
get abused because the way you say actually.
Actually,
And you-
I was once abused, actually, but I don't have to go there.
Because right now
Because people, they can see the body and say this guy can, because remember she
But
said
I'm just imagining like
emotional,
someone abusing you as
Come
you
on,
are. Like,
come on.
come on.
Come on.
What is
But no, but the truth must be said, guys. Even
Yeah.
like yesterday when I was going around, I've heard that there is a guy who's being abused right now. The woman will beat her in front of kids, beat her in front of what? And actually, as men sometimes, tinonyara ona kuti tiwe pakamera chiti ndikurohwa nomukadzi ndikuti wasei. But the truth must be told, men are going rough more than women. Why? Because even if I can go to the police station right now and report that my wife she's beating me, they will laugh at me. But men, we are going through a rough time sometimes. So I think we need to, guys, understand us. So it's a wrap, guys. Let's more. What can you say before we close up?
Okay, so
Yeah.
this was actually like a very powerful conversation.
Yes.
I've loved every bit of it. Like
Yeah.
it was actually very, very powerful.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking like she can just tell us like
Yeah.
what like do you regret like the steps that you take, because there is someone who is actually in that situation like
Okay.
right now at this very moment.
Yeah.
That's someone that is thinking like if I go there, like being a single mother, you understand,
Yeah.
and now that you are not, you single, right?
Yes.
Oh, she is single. Okay. So maybe there is someone right there that is very afraid to be single. Like,
Yeah.
do you regret some of the things? Like, maybe I should
The
be
only
married and
regret,
whatsoever.
no, the only regret that I have is holding on to a dead marriage
Oh.
after it had died.
In other
Yeah,
words,
that's-
she's
that's-
regretting that she took long.
Yes,
Come out.
because one thing, there are some certain things that hurt you more while at least you are holding on to them.
Yeah, that's
And you
true.
cannot receive new things because your hands are
You have
full.
some-
You understand?
Mm.
So the journey that I took, it has changed a lot of people's lives. And I know that if I am to die today, there will be somebody who would say, you know what, Madhumbe helped me when no one was there for me. Because the most important thing that a person needs is a good support system.
Yeah, but I think also she put another, as we are concluding, a strong point that touches my heart. That pastors sometimes they take sides when it comes to these things because they are
Yes.
getting money. Please, men of God, we trust you that you are doing the will of God. If I'm giving you money, it doesn't mean that you must support me. Be neutral. So, guys, let's check it raw. Okay, see you next time, guys. Oh, Sis Madhumbe, what's your close-up things?
All I can say is that
Yeah.
know who you are,
Yes.
know where you are,
Yes.
and where you want to go.
Wow.
The sky is the limit.
Oh, that's
Here
so
we say,
powerful.
let's talk it raw.
Raw.
Okay, guys.
Yes.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah.
Until next time.